on the rocks.
1, 2, 3.
Today's guest is Greg Edwards.
Yeah.
AKA Jeep, right?
Well, that's a nickname, yeah.
All right.
It's a nickname.
Where did that come from? Anyway, we met on a location shoot last week in Chile.
Right, which we can't talk about because we signed NDAs.
Yes,
but,
yes. So, but you were
Sonny
there.
was starring in it. You'll be able to see him in a couple months.
No, but and you helped me as the
coach. Yeah.
All right, so I was auditioning for a big role on the series.
Yes.
And a couple of them I had to do over there all of a sudden. So I couldn't go out do anything. I was like fucking canned in the fucking room.
Yeah. As you should have been, because it was a huge role.
Yeah.
And as an actor, you need to do your due diligence.
Yes.
And as a manager, I think I spoke to you about.
But also you coach, right?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I've been coaching for about 30 years now.
What I wanted to talk first, I mean, there's been a lot of actors on the show, musicians, people in front of the camera. But you manage actors, right?
I do.
How did that come about? I mean, okay, before I ask you this question, I want to qualify this. Because
all right.
As far as I know, I right now have a manager and theatrical agent and commercial agent. And they're great people. They've been working with me.
Sounds like they're doing a good job. You're getting great auditions.
Yeah. But prior to that, until about 2017, when I first started going back and forth between Japan and here, I didn't have a manager because there was nothing to manage. Okay.
Okay.
And people ask, like,
well, we can talk about that.
What's the difference between manager and an agent?
That's probably the number one question I get.
Right. And let me, before you start, I'm going to let you go.
Right.
But before you do that, I want to qualify this question because the image of, manager from the starting up actors is that, oh shit, if I can't get a SAG agent, I'm going to get a manager. And manager is not regulated. So in old days, I don't know if it's true now, but in old days, a lot of managers took advantage of agents. I mean, for an actor.
Of actors.
And
as did some agents.
And because it's not regulated, they could just charge anything they want.
Yeah.
So in some cases, they would charge upfront money.
Yeah.
They would get a back end from the photographer that they refer to. And,
I've heard all those stories.
Like that, right?
I never delved in any of that, but I've certainly heard those stories.
And then also, of course, there's a great manager who manages the people's career, not just a job.
Sure.
So
it's a passion.
I want to know from you, the horse's mouth, because you're the first manager on the show. And I think a lot of actors, a lot of people would love to know, what do you do? What's the difference between agents?
Sure.
How does it work?
Sure. Well, I started.
Take it away, Greg.
I started a long time ago. I started my own management company and had about, 15 or 20 clients, just actors that I had been coaching or came through. I started off as an actor, but then transitioned into managing and teaching. And so one of my very first clients, I won't mention any names, but she got stolen by, or not, I hate to say stolen. She decided to go to a bigger manager. And it was Vince Cirincione, who was Halle Berry's manager. Well, I did. Well, I have to now, because it's a good story.
Okay.
He didn't steal her. She just,
she decided to go.
She decided I was a young, just starting out as a manager, knew hardly anyone. And
how old were you then?
I think I was about 30. 28, 30.
What made you? I mean, you were an actor before.
I started as an actor, but I wasn't making a living as an actor. But I enjoyed teaching, and I enjoyed working with other actors, and it just sort of transitioned into. I'd been a salesman my whole life. I sold real estate for 10 years, and so sales seemed to be a better fit for me, I guess, than acting, because I didn't really ever make it as an actor, and I wasn't making enough money. I had just adopted a little boy, so now I had, some more expenses. And when my client got moved over to Vince, who was Halle's manager, Hallie or Vince at that time was doing the Dorothy Dandridge story. So you could, whatever year that was, you can look that up. And he had about 50 clients. And my client said, well, Vince, I think, you've got too many clients. It was just Vince and doing it. He goes, you need someone that can help out all your other clients. So I went in and had an interview with Vince. We hit it off, and he offered me a job. So that was my first real managing job. And I got to look over Hallie. I didn't really manage Hallie. He was managing Hallie, but I got to see what he did. I learned from
Just
him.
in case people don't know Hallie.
Halle
Berry, right?
Yeah, Halle
Okay.
Berry.
Okay.
Most people have heard of Halle Berry.
Right.
Or did I just say Hallie? Is
Yeah.
that okay? So Hallie's kind of, how many Hallies are there? But anyway, so yeah, Halle Berry, very nice lady. And so I learned a lot from him.
Okay.
I worked for him for a year and a half, taking care of all the people below him, below Hallie. And then, getting in to sit in on the conversations and the production. And, I sort of learned everything I knew about managing was, by hook or by crook before then, but this was the real deal. He was the real deal. Obviously, she's the real deal. And I got a chance to, meet a lot of the casting directors, a lot of contacts through him that I never would have met before had I not worked for him. And so I learned a lot from him.
Okay.
Ended up after a year and a half or so that we ended up going our separate ways, and I kind of wanted to start my own thing. So I basically, that's when my solo career as a manager started.
What's the name of the company or firm?
Greg Edwards Management.
Okay. And how many people do you manage?
I currently rep a little over 30.
Okay.
Yeah. Try to keep it small.
So do you have to sign a contract or
I'm a
how's it work?
handshake kind of guy.
There's a lot of people like that.
I'm a handshake kind of guy. Part of the problem is there was this terrible ruling that they came out with that managers, because the Talent Agencies Act or something along those lines, that there was a ruling stating that if you're not an agent, a licensed agent, and you're a manager, you can't act like an agent. Meaning if me as a manager, if I try to work on getting you a job, all I can do is steer your career according to the courts. If I actually submit you online on breakdowns or on any casting network, if I am not working hand in hand with the agent and do anything by myself, I'm not allowed to negotiate. And I negotiate all the time. It's one of the things I'm best at is negotiating money. Right. It has to be agreed to with my clients, but most of my clients have agents. A few of them don't. And the ones that don't, then I handle everything. Now, theoretically, because of this Talent Agencies Act, no matter, even if they sign a contract with me, they can get out of it if I act like an agent, meaning if I am calling up casting directors, I am, using my contacts. I know every casting director in this, that there is. I'm friends with all of them. I've been doing it 30 years. So I can call them and say, hey, you got to see Sonny Saito for this movie because he's perfect for it. He's bilingual, great looking, great shape,
pitching,
yada, yada,
right?
yada. That's pitching.
Right.
And I do a lot of pitching with email and then phone calls, depending upon how big the project is. And then, of course, I'm submitting on breakdowns every day. Yet, if one of my clients decided to say, I don't want to pay you your commission, I'm out.
Right.
Because of this Talent Agencies Act thing, because I'm not licensed by or bonded as an agent is.
So let me clarify this. So
Yeah.
if you have, let's say your kid has an agent and you representing, it could be a double submission. Like
there are double submissions on every time.
Okay.
But some people say, well, there shouldn't be double submissions. I say, this is a numbers game. And the more times a casting director sees your face and your profile and has somebody of repute that believes in you and has a good reputation, and all of their clients are good actors, if all of my clients were bad actors and I'm submitting a bad actor every time, casting's going to stop seeing my people, right? They're going to stop taking my emails. They're going to stop taking my phone calls. But fortunately, I've been in business a long time. I'm very, very picky about new clients. I probably get 5 to 10 a week that people, send me an email wanting me to represent them. And very rarely do I take anybody new on. I mean, I'm, older now. I've got a good solid group. And I try not to go in more than too deep in any one category anyway.
So what do you mean by that? That was one of the questions that I had. So let's say Asian actor.
Right.
All
So
right.
for example, I have one actor. I have two Asian actors
Okay.
that theoretically, for example, would compete with you.
Okay.
But really only one, because the other one is late 30s, 40, and you probably play more
older. Thank you.
Well, 50 to,
Thank you very much. Yes.
You probably play late 40s to 50s is the category I put you in. Even though you're in better shape than probably most 18-year-olds.
Oh, thank you so much.
Maybe
I should sign with them. Okay.
So theoretically, I have one guy that's in your category, that's in your age range, has similar,
So
credits.
Is it a numbers game? So like if you have 30 and then you have like 2 or 3 in the same category, if you're looking at the breakdowns, right, every day,
Right.
and then you see something that fits one, that means you can submit all 3 of them.
Of course.
To one.
Usually 2. Like I say, I try not to go more than too deep.
Right.
I there's 1 or 2 categories I have, some crossovers because, there may be 2 white girls and one's 20, one's 22, and one's 29, and sometimes they all go out for the same thing. So that there can be crossovers in a lot of situations, especially if there's no ethnicity required. So sometimes, if they're asking for specific ethnicity, that's one thing. If they say no ethnicity, now it's, anybody from 25 to 35. Well, I've got probably 10 or 15 people that are that can play 25 to 35 of all ethnicities. So there can be more crossover where I'm actually at times submitting, 8, 10 people for a project if, the ethnicity is open.
So when you get these like 4 or 5 people contacting you, say, "Hey, I need a manager. Please look at me."
Yeah.
What is your criteria in choosing one, or what do you look for?
Well,
or is it just a roster saying, "Oh, I'm missing one."
Well, that certainly has something to do with it. I mean,
Right.
for me now, I'm usually looking for your credits and what have you done, and do people know you already? Do I have to start from the beginning? If you're a non-union actor that's never been on TV before and isn't studying anywhere, or maybe you've taken 1 class a week somewhere for 2 months, I'm not the guy for you, right? You need to start smaller where someone, is willing to build a career. So you look at
their training?
Their training, their credits, their, for example, I just took someone on, he's from Italy, but
Really?
he has been in major movies, from working with Alexander Payne to, I think he worked with Scorsese and people
really?
of that ilk. So, and he's Italian and he's
Why is he looking for a manager
trilingual.
now?
He's looking for a manager to represent him in the American market. He's still
Okay.
in Italy. So, but stuff comes out here where they're looking for Italians in big movies. If they're done here, then he heard about me and wanted me to. So he was somebody that I totally didn't have and has a huge resume, and I think he speaks 4 or 5 languages fluently, as do a lot of the Europeans. So he's someone I can call, and if there's a role right for him in an American movie where they want an Italian, I'm going to get him an audition. So I know that because of his specificity, and I don't have him, and his resume, that if there's a role right for him, I can get him an audition. So that's what I look at a lot of is, can I, based on your resume, based on your training, and based on your work, because people, of course, have to send me a reel. I'm going to look at their reel, and I'm going to see if they're ready. I mean, most of the people that send me reels and acting, they're just not ready. They don't realize how good you have to be. I think we talked about this a lot too, that, when you get an audition for a major project like you did, you may have 100 to 200. Maybe there's slightly less because this was a bilingual Japanese thing. I think people might be able to guess what that TV show is anyway.
No.
But not too many Japanese shows out there. But, you have to, if you fit something and you're right for something and you're auditioning for something major in America, you're probably up against 200 to 300 people at least on a major project, major film, major series, major recurring role, even a lot of guest stars. So if you're up against, if casting is going to see 200 self-tapes and they're going to give a maybe 10 to 15 callbacks, you have to be in the top, 5 to 10% of auditions in order to even get a callback. That's not we're not even anywhere near booking the job yet. Just getting a callback is incredibly difficult, and doing everything right in an audition process. And I think that's why a lot of people come to me, is because as I did with you, I nitpick little things. I make sure that your subtext is there, that every moment you're in the moment and you're thinking about something, and we're seeing that in your eyes, and
You mean acting?
Yeah, you're acting. You're acting. So a lot of people just aren't there yet.
So I know this is not your, specialty, because I'm going to ask you about casting. When you say you were competing against 200, so there are
it could be more, but
maybe more. Let's just say 200. You think 200 tapes are coming in, and the casting associate is sitting there looking at each one of them, each fucking 200 of them?
Yes, I do. I think especially at the big casting, the good casting directors, it's their job. That's what they get paid for. And it's also it's their credibility. It's also, these people worked hard on their tapes. They deserve to be seen. And I think casting directors appreciate that. Now, I'm not saying if it's a 3-minute scene, that they're going to sit and watch all 3 minutes. But they're going to watch 20 seconds, 30 seconds. And if it's obviously not the person for whatever reason, they're too tall, they're too skinny, there's a lot of criteria. They don't look enough like the other family. Which is sometimes hard to tell based on your headshots, which is another discussion we should probably talk about. But I think all the good casting offices I know look at every single tape that comes in, and that takes some time. And as we discussed with your project, when you were wondering, well, how come I haven't heard anything by now? And as we spoke about, they're seeing tapes from all over the world for that, and and they're probably watching your particular audition mostly all the way through, because there's so much, the Japanese, the English,
6 pages of dialogue,
so much. And you did a great job, by the way. He's really good, everybody.
Thank you.
By the way.
Okay, so
he did pay me to say that with really good whiskey.
Yeah, would you like some more whiskey? Can I fill that up for you? No, so the thing is, when you're doing these kind of auditions, one of the things as an actor, when you go to a great, not great, I would say most of the good casting office.
Yeah.
In old days, we prepare ourselves 5 pages, 6 pages. We drive our fucking self to that place, the casting office. You find your parking space out of nowhere in the street or whatever,
Yeah.
And then you sit there in the lobby, wait for your turn, and you go in there. And they spend time with you. They will spend time and give you some notes and say, maybe you can do it this way. Yeah. Can you do it that way? Just to see if you can take directions.
Sure.
Or I've been on the set where they just change the whole scene or change the whole line and stuff like that. You got to be able to do that right away. Like when I was on a SWAT. I'm just going to go off on a tangent for a second.
Yeah.
And we were in Japan. We were shooting at the in Shinjuku, in the middle of a huge, basically it was a city building, of Tokyo. And they made it as if this was a headquarters for the police station. And I come out, and the SWAT team comes over, and there's a helicopter shot from the top, and then cut to dolly shot.
Yeah.
And there was like 5 seconds with like a short of dialogue. So the director just said, can you just
Improv
and make up a story?
Yeah.
You know, make up a line.
Sure.
And you have to be able to do that on the
Yeah.
spot. Because, I mean, there was like so many staff and crew and everybody else. And you have to be able to do that
Sure.
on the spot and take directions coming in from this way, that way,
Yeah.
whatever, right? So they're testing you every single time. And, you know, actor has to be not just an actor, but also be able to self-direct and stuff like that, right?
Well, certainly. I mean, every time you're doing an audition, you're looking at the pages and you have to bring the truth of those pages to life. And one of the things that I am passionate about and in my teaching and in my coaching is to bring the most powerful emotions possible that make sense for the page. I mean, you can say the same line 10 different ways,
right?
You know, and it can mean 10 different things. Oh, I love you, Sonny. Doesn't mean I love you, Sonny.
Right. So basically, in the beginning of acting career and auditioning, major thing, the most important thing is make a choice. Okay, without a choice,
make a strong choice, hopefully.
Right. So some people don't, you know, just do the lines or do whatever.
Right.
You have to have a certain choice so that they can adjust you or say, oh, that's even the wrong choice.
Yeah,
just
I agree.
make the fucking choice.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Unless you're not living that character, you're not living the situation, right? And that's the most fun part as an actor, you know. And you go through the casting, and some casting director I've seen so many times for the same fucking project, right? And
Sure.
And after a while, you go, fucking just give me the role. You know,
we had a little bit of this discussion earlier, and I, you know, you were talking about, okay, next time they're gonna have to offer it to me.
No, because
I'm not gonna do it.
To be honest with you, I mean, no disrespect, but for the same project, I auditioned 6 times already.
Yeah, and you should audition 6 more times.
But for like Hawaii Five-0,
if you needed to, I'm not saying you would need to.
Before I got that, you know, role over 2 seasons, maybe I did audition like 5 or 6 times,
right.
And then finally found me a role.
So what if you had decided after your 5th time, before you did that 6th time, where you got 2 years of work out of it, if you said, "Fuck it, I'm not going to do it anymore," if they want me,
fuck it, you know, I'm saying you should know what I can do, and what I cannot do.
Well, that's true, but that's why they keep bringing you back. And,
I appreciate that,
and you should appreciate that, and you should just keep getting better and trying to do 110% on every audition.
Right.
Because if you don't do that, you're not going to get the job.
But as you know, casting acting,
casting acting,
or call it auditioning acting.
Okay.
It's different from actual acting.
No, I don't. I think I'm gonna push back on that. I disagree with that.
You know,
I disagree with that. I think. I mean, look, if you had to pick up a page and do a cold read, obviously that's one thing. Right. But you're still acting. You're still trying to. Acting to me is about bringing truth to life and bringing the strongest emotions that are on that page. And the funniest emotions. And comedy, I love comedy, and you know, the comedy timing and pacing and that sort of things. I've put a lot of people on comedy shows, and half hour, and you know, that's its own animal, right? So you know, there's different tones. Comedy is one tone, a serious drama is another. You know, are you doing a spoof of something? Is it kids comedy? Is it, you know, Disney or Nickelodeon? That's its own life, because it's a little bit over the top and it's quite large and it's bringing major energy, but you still have to bring truth to it.
No, I understand that. What I'm saying is that there are so many great actors who are terrible at auditioning. But when
so
you get
they say, right? I mean, I've never seen
that. I've seen that. And I'm, you know, like you said, cold reading, it's a skill. It's a special skill. But also audition is another skill that you have to learn. You have to just keep doing this and really, you know, even though there's nobody there, even though there's a reader just reading your, you know, opposite you have to be able to act. It's a totally different skill, you know.
Well, where I push back is, why is it a different skill than what you're on set? I mean, what you did for me by the time we got done and the audition that you gave that was a bookable worthy audition, whether you get it or not. But it was also, you were at the point where you could be on set doing the same lines, the same way you did them in the audition, and they would be just as valid on set. Because would you do something different on set than what you did in that audition?
Maybe the only difference is like when you have a costume.
Right,
makeup,
but your
hair,
acting is
and
the
then you have
same.
your-
Your choices are the
Exactly,
same.
and you have your background worked out already.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's true, but you know, and also the fact that you were reading opposite me and giving me something. You know, usually when you go into casting, the guy or a girl is reading just straight
Flat yeah.
lines, right? Because they don't want to give you anything because you have to be able to imagine. Or what do you prepare yourself and things
Or
like that?
they're just not good. Or
Oh, no. But still, I mean, you have to be able to. A lot of people are. I mean, I remember going to casting, and they're not giving you anything.
Yeah.
On purpose, because you made your choice, and if it's different reading, it's going to screw up the whole thing.
I don't know if it's on purpose. I think they just don't want to overshadow you. And
Exactly.
They
That's
want
one of the
your.
thing,
They want to hear you and not have. I'm in a little different. You know, when I read with people, I'm trying to read opposite them as if it was in the scene. So, you know, that way, for me, it creates more realism for you. I mean, they're not hiring me, the voice that's, you know, behind the background, they're hiring you. But if it's, you know, on a self-tape in particular, and there's more realism happening in the scene itself, because both parties are, wait, I'm almost out of whiskey. I think that benefits you.
No, I understand that. But the thing is, like, for example, one of the things that you helped me with, the line that you were supposed to say to me was supposed to be in Japanese. Right? I had to imagine that you're speaking to me in Japanese and respond in Japanese. Right?
Okay.
You know, it's different way of acting for me at that point.
Sure.
Because
and obviously I don't know Japanese. I couldn't do that.
Right,
for you.
exactly. So I'm going to give you some Yamazaki now.
All right, just a little bit because I'm on my
What?
2's my limit.
Okay, this is your 2.
All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, going back to your management, I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
All the things that you mentioned about what you do is very similar or identical to what agent does.
Yeah.
Why aren't you an agent or agency?
I think number one, because I value my independence. I've always worked for myself. I work out of my home.
Why don't you register as an agency? Then?
I mean, it's a whole different process. You got to put a bond up.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. Because I started as a manager. I've made a living for 30 years as a manager. Right before COVID, I had 6 people on series. So I was making a buttload of money and it was great. And then, you know, basically overnight, as what happened to everybody, is they all died and they never came back. So
let's get
but
into
money
that.
on a money situation. I mean, I have had situations where people have screwed me out of commissions, where I've put them on a series. It's happened a couple times, and then I had to sue them, and that's how I know that my last lawsuit was my last one. I'm never going to do that again, because I mean, the guy, he was my client. I'd had him for years. I put him on a show. I won't mention the show or the client, but he just decided that. Well, to be fair, the audition came in from his agent, but that happens all the time. And I'm very upfront with people. It doesn't matter, because I work, I submit on everything, because you have a better chance of getting in if there's 2 submissions and there's 2 people pushing you. There's just it's a numbers game. They're only giving out so many auditions, and on a big guest star, they probably get 4,000 submissions on a particular role, 4,000, and they're seeing maybe 200 or 300. So just getting the audition is hard. And if you have an agent and a manager both pushing you, and they both, you know, obviously some agents have better relationships with certain casting than I do, and sometimes I have better relationships with certain castings than they do. So combined, we're getting more auditions together. Right. And it's a numbers game. The more auditions you get in, the more chance you have of booking something. You know, if you get 1 audition a year it's hard to book something. If you get 40 auditions a year, you got a much better chance of booking a few things or more.
So as a manager, I mean, my old manager
Yeah.
used to, like I said, I got the manager for the first time when I first started working between Japan and here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was working in Japan for TVs and stuff like that, and then come back here. So all the scheduling and shit like that, right?
Yeah.
But the second manager after COVID, he was, like you said, used to take everything, 10% out of everything. Like, for example, even voiceover.
Well, as do I. I'm in the same way.
Now, the manager that I have now only takes from theatrical, and that's all he works on.
Okay.
Right? So in your case, it's everything, right?
In my
and
case,
you submit
because
for everything.
Well, I submit for everything. Voiceovers, commercials,
Prints?
And I don't do print.
Okay.
So, and I don't take, like, I have a number of some of my actresses that are models. I don't take modeling unless I get them a gig. If I get them a commercial that's but they wanted a model, well, that's a different story. If it's on TV, but if they're just doing a modeling shoot that I had nothing to do with, I don't take that.
Okay.
But the problem is, the reason I take 10% of everything else, and that most managers do, is that, well, let's say I submit you on a big movie, and the agent submits you on the big movie. I might even, and this has happened to me numerous times, where I've called casting and I've said, hey, Sonny would be great for this. Okay, yeah, I think Sonny would be good. And then they think about it for a little bit, and then they call the agent and give them the appointment. So even though I was the one that put the bug in their ear to give them the audition. And that goes both ways, both for agents. Agents also take 10% of everything theatrically you do. Whether and when I get an audition for my client theatrically, the agent still gets 10%.
Right.
So why should that be different if the agent gets an audition?
Fine. But one of the things that
it's hard to know what
actor wants your agent or manager to do is, like you said,
double submit.
Call up casting and say, hey, you know what?
Yeah.
Why don't you see my client?
Absolutely.
And also after submission, follow up and say, hey, what do you think? What do you think?
How do you do? I get that. I do that all the time.
Do you?
Yeah.
Do you actually call?
I call or I email. Most people like email now, and usually because I have a good relationship, I get responses, and it's faster for them to just type out a quick response and let me know.
Yeah.
But I would say to all the listeners out there, the 5 or 6 people that may listen in.
No, thank you.
Dude, I'm kidding. I kid you. Josh.
Kick him out, will you? Can you?
But I would say to you, if your manager is not submitting you on breakdowns and on Casting Network or Casting Frontier or whatever they're doing commercially as well, if they're not submitting you and they're just saying, well, I'm going to, I do what I do, and, I can help the agent and I'll help steer you in the right direction, but I don't submit. Get a different manager.
Right.
Because, in this day and age, auditions are hard to get. They're like gold. That's why if I have a client, I just let go of someone who, was turning down half their auditions and not getting back to me and not being professional. And, if I call you and I say you have an audition, let me know you got it. If I don't hear from you for 2 days, now I've got to make another call. And, if I have to follow up on you, if you're not being professional, be professional.
Right.
If someone calls me, I answer the phone or I get back to them right away. And the same should be for any actor. If your agent sends you an audition and you get it, and then you don't let them know you got it, how do I know you got it?
Right.
If you don't accept it online, or at least let me know on text.
Nowadays,
got it.
You have your phone and you can find out exactly right away and say, I respond to my agent or manager right away.
Yeah. Look, I'm fine. Yeah, both breakdowns and Casting Networks, it shows on there if you've accepted it as an actor.
Oh, right.
And then that's fine for me. That's all I need. But
is it true that when you, like, for example, Actors Access or casting online, you submit, you accept the audition.
Yeah.
And then you upload your video.
Yeah.
Does it go to you, the manager?
It goes to everybody. So it depends. if I set it up where there's a few people, and this is very rare for me because almost everybody that I trust,
Okay.
and a lot of times, many times, the actor will send me the tape first. And if on every major audition, I want them to do that. Any series regular role, any major recurring, before it gets submitted to casting, I want to look at it. If I didn't coach them, obviously if I coach them, then we're fine, because I'm not going to let them out the room until it's ready, as you know. But that is, to me, probably maybe the most important thing I do, aside from everything else I do, making sure that the audition is bookable. It's worthy
so my
of,
understanding is that
a producer's
when you
look
upload
at
it onto your,
Actors Access.
Actors Access.
Yeah.
Then the notice goes to your agent, whoever got the audition, and the agent has to submit it to casting, or does it go directly straight to casting?
Well, it depends on how the agent or the manager sets it up. For example, if I set it up, and normally I set it up where if I trust the actor, I've worked with them for years and I know they're going to give me a good audition, then I let them self-upload. If it's a major one, I want to see it, but a lot of the smaller ones, if it's a co-star, if it's a, big co-star, if it's a, even a good guest star, if I trust them, then I will let them submit it directly. I can set it up when I give them the audition. There's a function. Do I want to let them self-submit or not?
Oh, there's a choice.
Yeah. So I can choose not to let them self-submit, and then they have to go to me and I upload it.
I see.
Or I can let them self-submit and then I can see it afterward. But at that point, it's too late.
Right.
Because casting already has it.
But do you see every tape?
I watch every tape that my clients do.
After they submit it or before? Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Either before or even after. Once it's been submitted, if I trust them, and I have, probably 15, 20 people I've worked with over 10 years, and I trust them.
Okay.
And I know they give me good auditions every time.
Okay.
So.
All right. So I want to ask you a rapid Q&A.
Okay.
Just give me the numbers.
Numbers.
Right. So for a major role in the film, how many submission does the casting get?
Like I say, probably 3,000 or 4,000.
And how many do they ask for audition?
Depending on how big the role is. I mean, the big roles obviously get offered. The main leads, we're talking about the runs. Maybe they're say 150 to 400 depending.
Really? What about like a streaming TV series?
Well, the same thing.
Guest star.
A guest star, I would say at least, a good casting office is going to get 200 tapes. Okay. They're going to probably see 200 tapes. That's one of the benefits, actually, of having gone from being in the room to self-tapes, is that they are seeing more people. More people are getting an opportunity to have a shot at it, right? Back in the day, when it was just in the room, I mean, they could literally only see maybe 30 people a day, 40 people a day, and maybe they do it for a couple of days.
Right.
And that's 80 people that got a chance at it, versus now maybe 200 to 300 get to self-tape. And then, now they are also doing Zoom sessions now. So that's something
What do you think about that?
I brought it up because I think it's a good idea.
So because if they say, usually on the audition, they say, Zoom available, first come, first serve.
You should, as an actor.
You should do that
yes, you
instead
should.
of taping.
You should.
Okay.
As long as you, have enough time to get off book, and you have to be off book. Let me say that again. You have to be off book. I'm going to say it one more time. You
don't have to be.
You have to be off book.
Even though the casting says
I don't care what the fuck it says. They did a part of the negotiations when they did the last contract was that, it's not fair that you're giving someone 6 pages of dialogue.
In 3 days?
You spent 3 days nonstop. You probably put, I don't know, 10, 15 hours into that. How many hours did you put into that audition?
I have no idea.
At least 10 hours.
I was going over the line while I was sleeping,
At least 10 hours, if not more. Right? So, they were making the statement that, you don't
have to.
Or we should be paid if you want me to, you want a camera-ready, real good audition of what we can do. That may take 10 hours for a a 6-8 page with major dialogues and so forth. But, so how the studios and they sashayed it. Oh, well, you no longer have to memorize it. It actually says that.
Right. On
No,
the script. Yeah,
casting
outside.
does not require memorization. Okay, they don't require it, but if you don't do it, you're not getting the job.
Right.
So,
That's right.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's meaningless.
Right,
Because the same criteria.
You remember the second one that I did?
reply.
Second audition
Yeah,
I did
sure.
in Chile?
Yeah.
That was like 5 pages.
Yeah, but it was a lot shorter. It was
the dialogue
much
was shorter.
easier,
Yeah,
you know.
exactly, because I didn't have to do accents.
Yeah.
Yeah, the accent is another big thing, right?
Yeah.
That's
We had
totally
to push you a little
different,
bit on the accent.
Oh, yeah. But, yeah. So, I mean, what about, going back to that, what about co-stars? How many audition tape do they look at, do you think?
It could be more because they're only
More?
Well, just because it's only, maybe not. I mean, I don't really know the answer. I haven't been in a casting office and seen, but I've been told, they're going to see a couple hundred.
Okay. All right.
I would say at least 100 to 200.
And you mentioned that, as we all know, after COVID, everything died out. And now,
Still, it's the worst I've ever seen it.
Yeah.
It's the slowest it's ever been for me.
Last 4 weeks or month or so, it's just been more activity so far.
I mean, I can't say that it's. I would say no.
No,
I mean,
you don't think so?
No, I mean not. I mean, it's been pretty much. I haven't seen an increase in the last month over the prior month. It's just been slow.
Really?
It's just slow. I mean, there's still some big projects out there, and we're still getting some auditions for people, of course, but.
I'm sure you see the breakdowns every day.
I do see the breakdowns every day.
Slow, huh?
I was doing some breakdowns in the green room while I was waiting for you.
Oh, is that right?
So I can work from anywhere. So that was
Okay.
nice. Like I was doing breakdowns when I was in Chile with you guys. So,
No.
yeah, I mean, for me, I can, as long as I have Wi-Fi, I have access to the breakdowns.
So it's basically the market or the Hollywood industry is pretty much dead. I mean,
well, I wouldn't say
remember
dead.
when I was in
mean,
Chile, they were saying, the media market, the entertainment market is every year it's getting more and more. But however, here it's declining, right?
You say the media market. I mean, are you
The
talking about
entertainment industry? Right?
Well, certainly since COVID and then the strike, it has never come back anywhere near the way it used to be. I would say it's at least 30 to 40% down.
Okay.
If
So-
not more. I mean, it feels like more, but that's what a lot of the
So I want to go
numbers
back
I see.
to your coaching.
Yeah.
All right. What do you exactly do when you coach? So
What do I do? Well,
you acting coach and also video acting.
you had
video
it
coaching.
firsthand.
Yeah.
I mean, mainly people come to me for major projects.
Okay.
And I mean, co-stars and things, you should be able to get, they're
But
usually
isn't it
a few
something that's
lines.
very new? Because until COVID, we really didn't self-tape, right? So,
But you still needed coaching, I think, before you went in for
Oh,
an
yeah, yeah.
audition.
So,
I mean,
in my
I
old
coached a lot
days-
of people. I mean, I've been coaching 30 years. So, I mean,
Okay.
I coach people before they went into a big audition because
So let me
you want to
go
be
back then.
prepared,
So-
even more prepared even. Because taping, you can do it over and over and over again. When you're in the room, you get 2-3 shots at it. You've got to be even better
Ready, yeah.
prepared.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing for Zoom. That's why I say if you don't have time for a Zoom, do it on tape. Because, when you're on Zoom, if you keep messing up your lines and you're not on book and, they're only going to give you 10, 15 minutes, maybe.
Right.
Maybe.
Right.
Right. And when you do a taping, how many hours did we spend taping?
No, but
at
the
least a
thing
couple.
is-
So
yeah, but the thing is, I mean, even for taping, you have to be ready.
yeah,
Right?
no.
So I think,
to do it right.
yeah, and I think you have to be off book. You have to be prepared for your sake as a coach, right?
Sure. Well, for my sake as a manager,
as a respect to you,
Yeah.
you coaching, you have to be off book and you're ready, and you have made your choice. You have your
well, if
you
you're
know-
paying me money and you come to me and I'm helping you
All right,
learn
so-
lines, that's absurd.
how much are you charging for?
I charge
What do you do?
120 an hour.
Okay, is that standard or?
I think it's lower. We just found out we had asked actually on the way back one of the young kids that was in the commercial, or not the commercial, in the project with you, in the van with you. He had gone to one of the big names. I'm not going to mention names.
Right.
And I asked, because I was curious, how much did they charge? And they charged him $300 an hour.
Right.
That's
Ridiculous.
This is a young kid that his first big audition. He should have had coaching, but that's absurd.
Right.
That's obscene. And I also, if you come to me and you're ready and we knock it out in 30 minutes, then it's only $60. I don't charge a full hour.
Don't do that.
I do that. So I'm,
but
if you're ready and you knock it out in 30 minutes, dude,
let me ask you
good on
this.
you.
So people are going to ask you. People watching this going to ask you. What gives you the right to like coach, right? So let's go back to your
gives me the
credibility.
right? I mean,
what? Your background. I think we should go back to that.
Well, I mean, I was a theater arts major at UCSB as a theater major. I did many plays. I did TV and film
you were
and
in front
stuff.
Of the camera, you were
I
an
was
actor.
in front of the camera as an actor.
Yeah.
I did my first movie when I was 18.
And what was the movie again?
I don't want to get into it, but
okay,
yeah.
You don't want to get into it.
But no one's ever seen it. But,
can we pull it up or no?
Yeah, well, we can, but let's.
No.
Yeah, it's many years ago. It's 40-something years ago.
Okay.
But aside from that, then I studied a lot with a lot of the top people in Hollywood as well.
Okay.
And but between everything, it was just something I was good at.
When did you start coaching?
Credibility-wise, I have put a lot of people. I sent you my bio. I don't know if they sent it up.
We're not gonna.
Yeah, I mean, I've put people on major. I put people on major films. Like I started Anna Sophia Robb's career. If you know who she is, she did. I put her on. I mean, I coached her on Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory with Johnny Depp. She played Violet Beauregard. Violet Beauregard. She was the one that blew up.
I think it was
Beauregard.
Beauregard. I remember.
She blew up into the big
book to my daughters, and that was like my favorite. Charlie and Chocolate Factory, and what was the other book? Glass Elevator. Yeah.
Yeah, I forget the name of it now.
What was the guy's name? Oh my God,
we are old now.
Old man. Well, who was it? Charlie and Chocolate Factory was written by. It was one of the favorite books that I read to my kids.
Yeah, I'm blanking his name now.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I mean, I've put probably 15 to 20 people on series.
Great.
The last couple of like one of my clients is Mace Coronel, who was on that 90s show, played Ashton Kutcher's son on there. And I've had him for 12 years, and I put him on his first series, which was a kid's Nickelodeon show called Ricky, Nicky, Dicky, and Dawn. Interesting story about him. 9 years old when he's 22 now. 9 and just did 2 movies back to back. Terrific actor. Really, he's one of the best in the young generation. But he, when he was 9 years old, when he auditioned for Ricky, Nicky, and Dawn, they came to me for coaching. 19 pages he had at 9 years old for his screen test.
Wow.
I mean, that's absurd. He had it down cold.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
One of the reasons he got it. I mean, he's just really gifted comedically anyway, but he's a brilliant kid.
So when did you start coaching?
I started coaching well over 20 years ago. When I first started managing, because when my clients would get something and they didn't have anybody, I wanted to see what they were doing. So it just naturally progressed. Now I probably do it 5 to 10 times
going back to management, and this is probably the last question I will have about management.
Yeah,
I remember
wherever it goes.
No, 30 odd years ago, when I first started looking for an agent, I think I got lucky because I submitted all these headshots, like maybe 20, and I got like 6 back. It says, come on in,
Yeah, and, good-looking bilingual Japanese guys are hard to come by,
But one of the first things that I did was I went back to school and training and stuff like that, so I could put it on my resume.
Stay in class. Let me say that a few times. Stay in class.
And
work it's a craft. You need to be working out on a daily basis. You need to be studying somewhere. I make the analogy to my clients. If you were trying to be a professional basketball player, would you ever make the NBA, and we're trying everybody to get into the NBA, right? The professional acting. Would you ever make it as a professional basketball player if you were practicing basketball 1 day a week, 2 days a week? Has there ever been a professional basketball player that ever made it in the NBA practicing 2 days a week? I would say no.
Right.
And it's the same way. You're up against the best actors on the planet in LA. And if you aren't as prepared and you aren't as studied and you haven't done the work, you're not going to get the job.
Right. And I think in your resume, I mean, they want to see what you have done.
Sure.
And what kind of a basic training you had. I also put down all those theater that I did.
Plays.
Plays.
Yeah, they're all good.
And,
That all makes a difference for.
Right.
I mean, a play
Not
is a
just
great
because
way to
I'm
learn a character.
Young, good-looking Asian kid that spoke Japanese and English or whatever. But because of that, I got a call, and I remember going to this agency, small agency, but it was well known and in Asian representation, whatever. And I had to do a fucking monologue in front of this agent.
Sure.
And I mean, it was. You put it on the spot right there and then in front of him, just him.
I've done that too. Yeah,
Have you done that?
I had back in the day when I first started acting. I had to do that. I remember, but
doing the monologue in front of this guy. So
what'd you do? Do you remember the monologue?
I don't remember what it was.
I remember I did To Be or Not to Be. Believe it or not.
Hamlet?
Yeah.
Oh my God. All right, but I told you when I went on Generals at Fox Studio, I had to do a monologue. And I did vagina monologue, just to.
I thought that was a bold choice.
Yeah, it was. I thought
kind of a bold choice.
But I'm sure that the casting department remembers me because of that.
Yeah,
but you have to make your choice.
You definitely want to leave an impression.
Yeah.
If you get out of a casting office and you just, were bland and brought no energy and didn't make strong choices.
Right.
Yeah. Again, you're not going to get the job.
Okay. So I mean, you have your management career.
Yeah.
You have your coaching.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And before I move on to the third one, how can people get in touch with you for coaching?
Well, they can call me at 323-376-3658. I am not, I'm happy to give my phone number out or my email. Which
Call right now and you get 20% off. But
I mean, I don't. Everything for me is word of mouth. I don't advertise. I don't. I literally work.
But you're not saying if you, come to get my coaching.
I'm not. It doesn't mean I'm going to take you on as a manager.
Exactly.
Yeah. No. I mean, look. If I fall in love with you and I don't have you, and I think you're the next thing, the next big thing, obviously we can talk, but don't come to me expecting me to just because you coach with me once, I'm going to represent you.
Right.
That's not part of the equation. They're two separate things. I mean, it's not unheard of, and I have gotten a few clients from my coaching, but it's rare.
But I just remember something totally different from entertainment industry issue or the subject matter, because I don't know how much time we have now, but I want to talk to you about your other career that you had before.
All right.
Which is your foosball champion. He was
I don't think we want to talk about that.
Foosball champion for a while when he was like young, right?
Yeah, I was.
Well, I mean, not many people know about foosball.
Yeah, and not many people care about foosball. And rightfully so. I mean, it's a wonderful sport. I played it for years.
Is this something is that a U.S. invention?
No, actually, I don't think it is.
Maybe?
No, I think maybe the first one might have been Germany.
Really?
Tischfußball, they call it, table football. And then I've seen some really old foosball tables in Mexico, like made out of wood. And, they're terrible tables, but
really,
not really sure where the first foosball table came from. America probably has the most.
European. No.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Germany, France.
Yeah, I mean, every year they have what's called the World Cup of foosball. So, and there's about 35 different countries that compete. My last time I played competitively was, I think it was 2000.
Already
I don't know,
2000?
50. Well, let's say I was actually
did
in
you
the
get into
Hall
it?
of Fame in 2013.
Hall of Fame?
I got inducted in the Hall of Fame.
Is there such thing?
There is such a thing, believe it or not, for foosball. But I think
Kenyon's like, what?
my last tournament I played, I was the coach of the senior team for the World Cup in Nantes, France.
What is the senior team? 16 and over?
No, the senior team at the time was 35 and over. 35 was considered a senior back then. Now seniors are 50. They consider a senior.
Okay.
And I'm 67. So,
wow.
yeah, I can't
So
compete with those guys
How did you get
anymore.
into this? And how did you? Is there such thing as a professional?
Yeah, it's
football
professional. I was top 15. I was top 10 in the world for about 15 years in a row.
Really?
So I won a number of different championships. I won the World Singles Championship. I won the Masters Singles. I probably the two tournaments I'm most proud of is I won the National Doubles Championship with a woman.
There's doubles.
Yeah, you can play with a
And the mixed
forward and a
double
back.
and shit like that?
Well, they have mixed doubles, but we won the national doubles against all men. But I played with a woman, and we won. We beat all the men. Me and this woman.
Where's
Tina
the Wimbledon
Roton.
of foosball?
I'm sorry.
Where's the Wimbledon of foosball?
The Wimbledon.
Like,
Well,
where
I
do you
mean,
go,
they just had the Masters, which is they have a Hall of Fame ceremony once a year. It's in Vegas every year.
Vegas.
And I was just there like a month ago.
Okay.
I didn't play. I don't play anymore.
Oh.
But I went to support some of the other, the people that were getting inducted and see my old friends, and it was a great experience. But
All right.
yeah.
So much for that.
yeah, it was a fun thing. But yeah, if you want a foosball lesson,
That's $120
Yeah.
an hour. His hidden talent,
yeah.